his fucking head in there, dog, and moves the little fucking stick, that shit's gonna club him like, wow! Like,
Yo, I'm
bro.
gonna keep it real with you, bro. You get in that position,
Mm-hmm.
right, fam.
What?
You feel me?
Yo,
You get
do it.
innovative. Yeah, you know, you
Mm-hmm.
don't even. In my, that's where I'm from. Like, I'm literally from the islands. I ain't from like, you know what I'm saying, fucking zinc house and shit, my nigga. Like the bush, my nigga. And like as a child, my nigga, like we boxes and fucking and soda caps and make friggin' cars out of throw a little motor on this shit with a fucking with two gears and make a fucking driving car out of this shit, my nigga. Like
Yeah.
when you're in the position, my nigga, and you have it, my nigga, you make it work, my nigga.
No
Trust,
doubt.
you know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
hey,
You
hey,
make it work, nigga.
the shit that I was trap, shit like that, deadfall trap. Like it uses something fall and gravity. Like they got all kind of ones. Like they got snares that you use fucking for bird snares and shit that are amazing, dog, to catch birds and shit. But I wouldn't waste my time with birds. But I seen a weave, dude, weave a fucking I think they even did that in primitive tech too. I seen a different dude though weave a basket, right, out of fucking out of long ass vines and shit in the forest. Just took ass skinny fucking bitches and shit that were thin and fucking we wove them into a fucking dick a basket that was small at one end and then made it mad wide and then tapered down again to a small mouth, and then he put then he made another thing that looked like Raiden's hat, but it was like a witch's hat. He made some shit like a witch's hat, and at the end of it was open. So now he put that shit upside down into the fucking thing that looked like a vase, and then he put that whole shit into the water, and then he put fucking bait inside of the fucking vase thing, and the fish swam in through the witch hat, but they didn't know how to get back out because they thought the hole was way bigger when they swam in, because they swim in through the big ending of the witch hat. You know what I'm saying? And it's like wide, and then when they get to the entrance, they get in, they see inside, and it's mad wide inside. So they tricks them, and they keep swimming, and they go inside. It's mad wide in there. Once they get in there, they don't know how to swim back out, and then they to the up, and there's mad fish in there, turtles, fish, crayfish, all kind of shit.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I was watching this movie called
Yeah.
Phenomenon yesterday. I don't know who the main
Oh, that's
character was. You saw that before?
the main cat. Yeah, the main character is, if you didn't even notice, is
John Travolta?
yes,
Yeah, I did notice. I knew he was somebody famous. Yo, that movie was
yeah.
dope. He get if y'all ain't know it, he get hit by a white light, and then he start gaining super intelligence and kinetic powers. And it's so similar to how the mushrooms and the DMT is changing up our minds, like my mind too, like making me able to grasp concepts like just as here, put together things, learn manuals. He was he was learning languages in like 3 hours just by reading the book. He just catching on to a lot of things, and it's all because that bright light that hit him in the sky. And that was all they really said about it too.
That
And he
was
was trying
back
to
in the day, right?
experience it. Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yeah, for that
there's
movie.
another thing too. There's a video out there on YouTube, different ones that they talk about all the natural, edible shit in the forest. Forest edible, like you could just walk around. They show you edible shit. So those are the things motherfuckers don't even know what's edible in their backyard. There's all kind of grass and shit like that. You would never think you could eat grass, but we do eat greens, and there's
Yeah.
grass
For
out
real,
there that you
bro.
eat
Like
like they were greens and shit. There's
fucking
all
bay
kind of shit
leaves
out.
and all kind of shit.
Yeah, man, we don't know nothing what they look like. We don't know at all. We won't even know a fucking tomato plant if it was until tomatoes were growing. Like we walk
We
right by
ain't
that shit.
tapped in no more, and then we don't
Yeah,
let the plants communicate with us, bro. We just be
yeah.
ignoring their ass. Like,
That's why it's
hey,
good to find
hey,
this
me.
information and learn it, because when you fuck with the psychedelics, it intertwines all that shit. Like it intertwines into your mind. The better. Like the more you look for shit, and the more you find shit, the more you see shit. Like you notice what kind of leaves they look like, what kind of branches they have. They describe everything. Was There's things out there that are crazy poisonous too. And I didn't know there's plants out there that are purple that if you just brush past them, they could kill you. Like holy shit, like
Goddamn.
wolf's bane and shit like that. Yeah, like certain plants that you fuck with them, they fucking. But that right there. Listen, there's this movie called The Hunt. Y'all ever seen that? One of the realest movies I've ever seen, bro. When it comes to
Hmm.
thriller,
Uh-huh.
the dude, the dude was the illest. He trained by this is a good guy in New Hampshire somewhere. Palm Brown. Type of training because even to get into fucking school, I think you have to go somewhere, walk out into the middle of nowhere, and survive for like a certain amount of time. And they're watching you, and then fucking if you survive a certain amount of time, then you could join the classes, and then you gotta fucking do more shit. Like they guaranteed to teach you to be able to walk up to a deer and touch his tail before the deer even realizes. So so the movie's based upon the Tom Brown school of training. The movie. The Hunted
The Hunted?
with this with Benicio del Toro is the main character, dog, and he's the fucking assassin ninja, tracker, all kind of shit, dog. Like that movie, and the dude who trained him is Tommy Lee. Is like a fucking, it's like remember the movie with Harrison Ford that they was hunting him down, and he was a motherfucking he was one of the Tommy Lee Jones. He was like, I want every outhouse, doghouse, motherfucking, I want everything searched. You know what I'm saying? When it was chasing him down through the fucking wall, and he used to escape from prison. Like,
I know what movie you're talking about. I forgot the name of it.
yeah, that's called. I just said the name anyways, but yeah, that movie right there, fucking
Another idea.
U.S. Marshals. Some shit. I think it's the Marshal. Is either U.S. Marshals. That was the part 2. It's called U.S. Marshals, and that one was called damn, I forgot.
He got like a sword, and then he jumped down the long ass, like the sword thing he was standing in looked like a waterfall. Yeah. I remember it like this.
Fugitive, yep. But yeah, the fucking the movie though is The Hunted, bro. You guys watch that shit, bro? You're gonna be like, wow, those techniques and those skills are fucking watching off. Matter of fact, today I'm supposed to watch.
Hey, y'all ever thought about there being something outside the creator mind?
Yeah, us.
Like outside.
Gut biome alone is fucking bigger than is like a planet. Fucking everything, everywhere in our body, white blood cells, all that shit, everything that's inside of us is a fucking biome of information, bro. So outside of that, there's definitely existence, and we're just a fractal of everything. Everything is just a Fibonacci sequence. We're just a small expression of the universe. You know what I'm saying? And everything, the planet is a fucking giant expression of us. And the fucking you keep going, and it's like there's life in everything, dog. And there's like energy and everything. Energy is life. You know what I'm saying? That's why the ancients said even stones have spirits in them and shit, because it's like energy, bro.
That's real.
Energy.
I'm just thinking like, what if we're in like we're in the mind of like a fucking AI or some shit, like some ancient organic AI, and then you know what I'm saying? Same shit that's going on, like Rick and Morty type shit.
Yeah. Yo, life existence might be artificial. Who knows? Everything. The entire cosmos, the stars, the planets, everything might be artificial. Our planet might be constructed. The moon might be fucking constructed. Phobos, all the planets might be fucking constructs that was placed there. Before anything we ever knew, we might just be some fucking organisms that were placed here, dog, in a farm that is fucking infinite beyond our scope. We don't know. And we'll never know. And it might be all true, and it might be all just, you know, we might be just losing our fucking rabbit-ass mind.
Hey, Jessica.
Oh, no. That shit that I was telling y'all about, that feeling in my back, I was telling my brother, I was talking to my brother, and I was telling my brother about it. He was telling me some shit. He was like, bro, I started telling him, like, a lot of my opinions, and he was like, bro, I've been trying to tell you this from, like, 2000 friggin' 10 and shit, 2011. I've been trying to tell you, you know what I'm saying? And he doesn't do psychedelics and none of that shit, you know? And, yeah, man, this shit is crazy. He's been telling me, like, this shit since the jump, but I couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, what the fuck? But anyway, he said the same shit be happening to him sometimes. And he said that should be crazy because he feel himself slipping out and he have to catch back himself. And that shit is like He said that shit feel like he's about to die. It's like the craziest feeling, but he know he's gonna be okay. But he's like, he has to try to like hold the shit together, you know. And I'm trying to figure out like, is the same shit happening to me? Because from the other day I've been standing up and doing shit, and all of a sudden I just feel a pull in my back, and it feels like, you know what I'm saying, like my soul is about to come out. And I never had that feeling before. I thought it was hunger, and it wasn't hunger, yo. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to figure out like what the hell is going on and shit.
Yo, you gotta let it go. I started letting it go. It feel like I die every day. It feel like I die every day, and every day is reset.
But that's the thing. It's not even a feeling like. It's not even a feeling like let go. You know, it's like.
Yeah,
it's
I'm just
like,
trying to put it into words. I know.
It's like, man, I can't. Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. From the other day, me and you was talking about the schizophrenia thing, my nigga. I'm starting to think like, is that happening to me or some shit?
How old are you? Around.
You know, because like this shit is crazy, man.
Esco's like 55, right? Esco?
I'm 34, bro. I'm a young nigga. I'm a young, fresh green nigga, son.
I was gonna say usually they say you start.
Be alright, man. Just fuck with those mushrooms on a, you know what I'm saying, on a dosage basis that, you know, combine them with lion's mane, and you'll get that those will improve brain functions and cognitive shit. You know what I'm saying, and help you and shit with all kind of shit, man.
That's funny. I've been supposed to go get those lime beans at Sprouts or Whole Foods, but every time I keep going, I keep forgetting about that shit, yo.
They don't sell them at no market around my way. They only sell the capsules.
Word?
I'll be trying to find
you said they sell them at like Sprouts or some shit.
What was that?
Well, they sell them at Whole Foods for sure.
Yeah, I don't got no Whole Foods or nothing like that around here.
I got crazy Whole Foods around.
Yup, it's called Four Sigmatic fucking lion's mane. It's dope. This little box, she costs like $30-something fucking for 28 fucking little packets or some shit like that.
Shit.
Get like $1 a piece.
That shit was crazy, son. This nigga Tree said I got ate by a fucking dragon, my nigga.
That's dope.
It means something to him.
Huh?
It means something to Tru that he don't probably not even gonna know until later.
This happened to him before though.
Or
With
next
the fucking
trip.
jesters coming out. They turned into a dragon, and they would kept swallowing him over and over, and then there was jesters swallowing him over and over. Happened to him before.
Gotta let
Right? That was supposed to be like my activation to activate me to this, to even come to this shit. Cause I'm not gonna lie, if that shit never happened to me, fam, I would have been like a fucking nigga in the hood trapping.
The most important thing, fam, is this, man. Just we gotta take control of our lives, bro. That's the most important fucking thing. Everybody gotta do that, man. Like, you can't, like, outside things don't fucking matter, bro. All these things, these beings, all this shit, dog. Like, any higher power, it doesn't even matter if there's a higher power, dog. You still have to fucking control your own life, dog. There's no training wheels, bro. There's no training wheels. There's nothing gonna help you pay your bills. There's nothing gonna fucking help you heal.
That's the thing.
You gotta heal yourself. You gotta do everything yourself, though. And if you convince yourself that your higher form is somebody else, then maybe it works, and then it doesn't work, and it's like all iffy and fucking bouncy, and it works when it feels like it. You gotta take control of that shit and make it happen now.
It's
You know what I'm
Like, I'm telling people. What up, Joss?
No, I was just saying, yeah, it's all now. It's all just now.
Nah, that's real. When I came out of my DMT trip, my nigga, that's what I realized. It was like, yo, my nigga, you don't have to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought I was living life wrong. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm keeping it real with you.
I said the same thing. I know what you mean.
I thought I was living life totally wrong and shit. You know what I'm saying? But after that DMT trip, it's like, no, nigga, you are living life the exact way you're supposed to. You're playing your script. It's like, nigga, get back to the fucking script. Get back. Go try to do what you do. Try to build your company. Try to do all the shit that you out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like how I perceive life.
Why is it that we could grab a game like motherfucking San Andreas, and we could build up CJ and build him up all different ways, make him go to the gym, make him jacked, get tattoos, do all kind of shit. And it's like we won't even take control of our own lives and make ourselves go to the gym and go get our own tattoos.
That's the real.
Yeah, the mushrooms told me that last 2 years ago now.
That's what I thought I was wrong, because I was doing these things for myself. I was living my life like fucking CJ, and then after when I'm like, nah, I can't do it like that. Then DMT is like, no, nigga, get back back to the fucking script, nigga. This is who you're supposed to be in this reality. This is what you're supposed to do in this reality. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck all that other shit you be thinking. Like, nigga, get back to the bread. Get back to the bitches. I'm like, gee, like, whoa. That's the last thing I was expecting,
That's what
bro.
you set up
Get
for
back
you.
to take, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, no, nigga, like I said, like I was telling my homeboy the other day, if you went to go watch Blade and Wesley Snipes was playing a ballerina, my nigga, that would be not the point of the movie, my nigga. He was in there as a vampire slayer, so you want to go see a fucking movie about a vampire slayer. So at the end of the day, I'm living out my life as Esco. You know what I'm saying? My script is supposed to be as Esco and shit. It's not supposed to be as fucking Noah. You feel me?
But
This is what I thought. Huh?
I know what you mean, because I thought that when I was watching that movie.
Oh, my bad, bro.
No, I just said I thought that when I was thinking that movie, Evan Almighty, or something like that. I'm confusing it with Bruce Almighty.
Yo, your mic is shipment, fam. Your mic is shipment in and out.
I ain't been like that all day. I was thinking about the movie Bruce Almighty, and Evan Almighty, where he had to build the ark. And I used to think, oh, that's what I gotta do. But then I was like, no, that's what he doing, and right there.
That's one of the funniest movies that made me laugh hard. Like that was one of the last times I can remember laughing real hard. Was that when he was in the studio in the newsroom and he was making the fucking dude go live on TV.
Oh yeah.
When he was making him fucking fuck up live, dog, when he was making him say all kind of shit, dog, like giving him Tourette's. That shit was hilarious.
I remember that.
He was doing it with his mouth and making the other dude like that shit was fucking crazy.
It's called the Evan Almighty or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Almighty. Morgan Freeman was the real guy.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Another one with Jim Carrey that made me laugh hard was in Dumb and Dumber when the girl, she was just playing with him and she fucking hit him with a powder puff snowball. He looked at his chest and then fucking grabbed the snowball and whipped it as hard as he could at her face, dog. Like, wham! Like fucking, I was like, oh my god! Like he just tore her face off. Oh shit!
Oh, y'all.
Yo.
What up, fam?
Hey, it's like crazy. You come back, but you not back. Controlling the avatar, do it. Feel hella weird and shit.
That's how it is. It's like the rest of the day.
You almost there, Tru? You almost there?
Man, every time I think it's gonna be over, it start right back. Start right. But I feel weird, bro. It's like I kind of killed the reality. Shit. Did I kill the experience?
Can't kill yourself.
The experience, though.
It's an echo.
It actually shattered the experience of life. The existence of life. See what it means to exist.
What's up with the trees and shit? They don't look different.
You went through another portal? Checking in on you.
Nah, I just popped in to listen to what y'all was talking about.
Oh.
You got the feedback loop. You got the ill feedback loop.
Yeah, I just basically popped in to see what y'all was.
He's talking about movies like Bruce Almighty when he became God.
My god damn, bro. I'm trying to like come down. Feel me? It's weird. it's just like, okay, like I got it, but it's like, damn, though, bruh. Everything I just saw is like, no. Like, I don't believe that shit, man. I believe it,
I need
but
it.
it's so.
I need the extension.
That's probably.
Not bad. I don't know why it's echoing for me. Every time I say something. I don't know. Hey, come, I got it. I'm gonna use it for a bit. Come right back, okay? Come right back, okay?
Yeah,
I
but
need
that
it for
was
the night.
after this, I'm chilling.
Okay.
Chilling.
You say you chilling after that?
Yeah, that was.
Hey, it can come in
That was
seasons.
a little bit. I'm going. It's weird. Like I don't even know why I didn't never say that, bro. How we, bruh, like you had on the whole Aleister Crowley fit, though, just high. That was weird, bruh. And it's like, but I knew it. I just didn't want to say it because I want to believe it.
Oh, like I was saying before, I ran into Aleister Crowley starting off with all of this. Like this whole like, wow, we really got somebody out here had powers. And I was like, wow, this is something.
I kind of crossed over. If y'all would have paid attention, I crossed over. Like I was like, I connected to reality, brought him in. Like, that shit was glitching. You didn't like. Did you hear the Tru Life Stories? You can hear the Tru Life Stories, and you can hear the fucking Michael Jordan Discord at the same. And I wasn't nowhere near over there.
Oh wow!
Like I had the Tru Life Stories Discord.
I had the microphone turned all the way down, bruh. It was all the way down. That's what fucked me up. Is that I had that turned down and then boom, it brought both of them. And like I could hear myself there, and I could hear myself. It was weird. And then I went to go try to stop it. That shit wouldn't stop. Just like kept going.
They are two different characters.
Yeah, but then just like, bruh, just break that. I'm gonna have to break that down. That even. That even. I don't even understand how that. You hear like both mic going and that microphone all the way down. It was like, how was that? The mic.
I guess everything's all connected.
That's I was diving. All these things.
Witness. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, you gonna real.
I'm trying to figure out how it even happened. Like that. How that shit even happen, bruh? Because it seemed like some impossible shit.
It seemed cool. It
seemed like
not too impossible.
Yeah.
It happened to you.
Yeah.
And phenomenon like this been like reported in fantasy stories.
Yeah.
And it's just it's as strange. They always say life is stranger than fiction.
Yeah. Exist. It's exist. How it was exist. How it was created, bro. That shit is level. It's level. See why, we be thinking that it can, but it can take all that.
You said don't take
Even
that.
like just looking at information, I'm telling you, bro, I felt like I was gonna explode. It felt like my body would explode.
Like your hard drive, processor is being overclocked.
Yeah, like it was gonna crash. But no, like literally, like explode. I say explode, like explode in the like part. That's what it felt like. I was explode particles from everything, all the downloads. Like as they were coming, it was coming so fast, so much.
It's like you was entering into madness, like so to speak.
But it's beautiful.
That's how it's going. That's the. I don't know why I'm echoing every time, but yeah, that's the beauty.
I know it's like I made it. Okay, I made it. Shit.
It's like it's so much closer to so-called home than anywhere else.
Like I just go to sleep, bro. On everything. I just go to sleep right. I can go to sleep right here, leaning on the wall.
Leaning on the wall.
Leaning on the wall, bro. I'm telling you, I go to sleep. It's so beautiful.
And that's having control.
Then you get to see hummingbirds. It's like now I'm seeing hummingbirds. Oh, I did it. I'm done. I'm done for y'all. Sorry. I'm done for a minute. I'm gonna have to do this shit like once a year.
Yo, I'm looking up. They say hummingbirds are a symbol of endurance in the pursuit of our dreams. Because some are known to travel up to 2,000 miles for their destination. They're a symbol of eternity, continuity, and infinity. That's what it says.
Yeah, that's what it says. The hummingbird tree. It's like every reality is found throughout every. Figure out why. Why? That's what back this different existence. Weird. But let me grab it. Tap back. Y'all.
Okay, bro. If you gotta lay down, lay down.
Man, I
am. Cool.
Oh my God.
Alright, travel on.
Yeah, I feel like I travel life. Life. Feel.
Sweet dreams, as they say.
The pain and shit was weird. That soul bonded. Like you can't even talk to somebody off the 4 ACO. You fucking become them, and you can see that playing shit. It's like it won't even be this actual reality. It's like, bro, I seen the dragon. The dragon came down, bro, and bit the shit out of bro, though. That's what's blowing my mind. It's like I seen it. Like it wasn't the train. It's like I quit, bro. Just time, I quit. I'm letting you know right now. I quit, bro. I quit. I quit right now.
Dang, right just the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm done for a minute.
It'll be another season.
I don't know how long, but I'm done.
But no, yeah, however you feel, that's cool.
Yeah, but I'll be right back.
All right, bro.
Into the avatar. That's what I need. Goddamn. That'll made everything all better.
What's that? Oh, there we go. Oh, that was cool. Alright, how do I segue off of that? Anybody there? If not, I got this book. What was it? It was something I want to read. I got this Graham Hancock's book called The Divine Spark. He like interviewed different people from different fields like scientists and stuff, just different people he knew, and he had them write about a part of their psychedelic journey that they wouldn't usually like put out there to the world. And one of the chapters that was standing out to me was the one made by Gabriel Roberts. He titled his DMT, The Thinking Man's Moonshine, question mark. That's how I really started feeling. Who's that, Chugga? You know she's saying the same thing we saying. What else? Yeah, there isn't really no segue off of that. I don't know why I won't go through this book. I'm still stuck on the Aleister Crowley thing that Triple was telling about. And I'm on a podcast too, so it seems like I'm talking to myself. I'm just tying on. But yeah, the Aleister Crowley, that's wild. That's cool that's how you seen it too, because when he said it, for those in the show, I had this hat on that resembles, I'm sure just bring up a picture, because I know exactly the picture he's talking about. Aleister Crowley. Like, I just got so much history with spending a lot of time trying to find the truth, and get in touch with my holy guardian angel, and contact all these beings and stuff. Because he used to contact this alien thing called Ayahuasca. I think that was the name of it. And he said that's what gave him communications on how to perform his different rituals and magic stuff. Yeah, that's the... I see what he mean. He mean like a hood. I see you got it. I don't know. Crystal links. Yeah, I don't really know what to look up on them. I'm really just chill right now. If anything, I can look into this. Past lives. And then Aleister Crowley. Alright, remember in the past, many years ago when I was in San Diego, I was a member of the Rosicrucian Brotherhood and a founder member of the lodge there. Most people familiar with the blah 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 blah. One of the things I remember about the public image was a statement about many of the rituals and about the two great questions of existence. Life, what comes before death, and what comes after. Take some shrooms. Modern magic, magically. Here it is, past lives. The value I remember in past lives is not what happened to you in the past, but how that memory helps you today. That means the objective reality of past lives is pretty much irrelevant. What matters is what you get out of the memory, real or not. If past life memories help you understand yourself better and overcome challenges, the reality of that memory becomes meaningless. It's good to remember that past. This is what they said on here. It's good to remember the past when you can use the memory to help your present and create a better future. Because I be saying that too. I be saying the past don't even exist. So anything that's going on now, it's what I'm supposed to be paying attention to, like, absolutely right now. That's why, like, I'm able to see all these synchronicities just line up now. Where it just, I feel myself playing my own game. Well, playing the game in different ways. I don't know. Yeah, because I was always playing the game, but just more aware of it. Oh, hold on. What you said, bro? Daniel and Holy Ruckus, the Beast. Yeah, that's what people, that's what he called himself. He titled himself the Beast. Because he grew up a Christian, and that's what got me into him too at first. Because he grew up a Christian, and he got it. I forget the exact thing, but from what I remember, he just got into the Holy Golden Dawn Society because they saw promise in him and stuff like that. And he rejected the church and did all this other stuff. I was like, oh wow. But he only titled himself that really to make the Christians mad. Like, that's what's his literal thing. But it was a lot more. He knows a lot of metaphors. Yeah, it's a different type podcast. There it is. Yeah, folks, this is frequently done. Even though match protection, yeah, they ain't really say anything. Linduin, the magical memory. Let's see what this is. Aleister Crowley thought that developing magical memory was an important part of magical training. The magical memory is the ability to recall past lives. In Magic Without Tears, I remember reading that. Chapter 37, he points out that one of the values of remembering past lives is it helps you overcome fear of physical death. In Liber, and I can't read that, he goes into methods for remembering past lives, but for a different reason. Here, there is far more than merely overcoming the fear of the inevitable. Rather, remembering past lives has the goal of seeing a thread that unites all the past lives and how those lives apply to your current situation. And then I got it in quotes. Let him apply the memories to his own career, forging the links of memory into the chain of necessity. He also advises that you be aware that the mind can create fantasies. You should check out your memories of the past for validity and avoid as if were to plague any blah, 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 blah. Crowley believed that he was the reincarnation of John Dee's assistant, Edward Kelly, and famed accomplice Eliphas Levy. Oh, all these names ring so bell. I'm sorry. I thought I had this text up on YouTube. Let me bring this up so y'all can see it. Yeah, and John Dee and Edward Kelly, they was big. They was the magicians for the Queen of England and stuff. Like, they told about the future for them, like, let them know plans of when people's going to attack, the weather, all of that stuff. So they was cool. And they developed their own language by going, well, they say it, they interpreted the language of the angels that they were seeing when they looked into the crystal balls after they inhaled their certain substances and stuff like that. And I should know what that is called. Angelic language, Edward Kelly. Cause I used to think this was all important, and that this was all I had to learn. This was before psychedelic. Enochian, that's what it was called, the Enochian language. Let's see what this is. Kelly's angels communicated to him in a special language termed angelic, subsequently called Enochian, in which he then relayed to Dee. Some modern cryptographers argue that Kelly blah 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 blah. The angelic language was supposedly dictated by angels whom Kelly claimed to see. Yeah, crystal. The third. The angelic word televidnum is glossed as he who has fallen, but is actually a dramatic like combination of two other angelic words, Tenlok, glossed as death, and Volvin, glossed as dragon, death dragon. Thus, he who has fallen will be literally translated as death dragon. Both rather obvious references to Lucifer, neither Kelly or Dean mentioned in their writings. That's something. So angelic can also mean death and dragon. What's going on, Cozy? I'm trying to. Hey, Cozy. I'm just tying, researching. The energy is in the atmosphere, not really in my voice. Everything is good though. I'm really chill right now. Just researching with the team. Crowley believed blah blah blah. Even though he felt he felt famous, but he felt he had. Even though he felt remembering past lives was important. Wait. Even though that's hard for me to read, I'm really zoned out. Like that's what I be telling y'all. I know what y'all mean when y'all say y'all feeling like y'all getting ripped out of the reality and stuff like that. Like I feel like that all the time, and that's why I just be going at it and just letting myself flow, Cause sometimes I do go, but that's just cause that's what I'm always doing. And for a long time I shut that out. However, he speaks. God, even though he felt remembering past lives was important, and he felt he had famous past lives, the important thing is not the past. I already read that. Both Fortune and Crowley grew up in the late Victorian period. The vast increase in scientific knowledge during this area resulted in a desire to prove everything. I don't know. Yeah, this is not a good article. They gave me some good keys. But I'm just looking into what Aleister Crowley and past lives. Because at first I just had the idea. I remember somebody saying that they thought that they was the reincarnation of Aleister Crowley. So I was looking for that. And then I wound up running across a bunch of other things. Let's look into Magic Without Tears. It's funny. It's this band that I used to listen to called Him, and it stood for His Infernal Majesty. And they was a cool band. They was from Finland. But they spoke a lot about being in love with death and like having this romantic relationship with it. It seemed like it gave me a bigger picture of what was going on whenever I was into it, because I wasn't really like fantasizing. It did get kind of fishy confused at first, because I was mixing it in with just this reality, and it was making me kind of sad at sometimes. But when I listened to it, it made me feel comfortable. Like it was a song called "When Love and Death Embrace," but overall they got this album called "Love Without Tears," and it goes into all of this esoteric stuff. And then I was like, yo, when I got to Aleister Crowley, I saw the book that he wrote, Magic Without Tears, and then I saw that it has so much parallels, and that they've been into all the stuff that I got in later in life already in the beginning, but they just encoded it in their music, which was wild. All right, so let me great. What is that? Him first album. Let me put it up here so you can see. They had songs like Dark Light, Love Metal, Greatest Love Songs, Volume 666. They just had an image. They had a dark kind of goth image to them, but the messages in these songs was always the dopest. The Night Side of Eden. That's a song that's coming to my head right now. It's basically the things I'll be doing if the camera wasn't on. Anyway. And I just be seeing it too, like they already knew what was going on, and they be saying it from different perspectives. I don't like this song that I'm looking at now, cause they saying in the divided we stand in the light of a frozen sun, cursing the gods we have become. We still the fire from the sacred heart, and in the night side of Eden we're born again. Forever we are, forever we've been. Crucified to her dream. That's not the song I wanted.
Feel like I just woke up from a long slumber. Fuck, G, what the fuck happened?
No.
Wait, who's on Discord?
You got a report?
Oh no, I was just fucking meditating out here, just chilling, and I think I fell asleep, but I'm not sure.
What if you was sleeping now?
Fuck.
But yeah, I'm getting off track. Let me get into that magic interiors hermetic.
Man, I need to get a studio session, bro.
And to make some music.
Yeah, I just read a message because I asked my brother how much was the studio session. He said it was fucking $35 an hour plus 25 with an engineer, so fucking 55.
For like an hour or
60.
two, or the whole day.
Yeah. 35 plus 25. I mean, do I need the engineer? Well, yeah, I guess I do. Cause I did some freestyle the other day that I want to fucking record in the studio and shit.
You can remember your freestyles? I don't ever remember them.
I remember all them shit.
I was like, who said that?
I was fucking that video you made with on the mountain and shit. When you went fucking walking and shit.
Yeah. You say you checked it out?
Yeah. I was fucking listening to your music and shit. I was like, wait, what? Okay.
I always randomly make music, and then I don't, and then it always just comes do spurts, I suppose. Cause that music I made like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Like the one we're talking about the mushrooms in the dark was last year, but the other one was like 3 years ago. What did you want to say?
You gotta direct me to a site where I can listen to that shit.
Oh, I gotta do that. I gotta put it on. I made a SoundCloud. I only uploaded one song to it though. I gotta hone in on the SoundCloud reality long enough to make it something. It's easy enough to do though. I'll make sure I do that. I was actually thinking of making a song today, but then I wound up reacting to music. No, I was actually going to make a song today, but I wound up just reacting to music, making a video.
Damn, bro, going in and out.
Oh, it's like that right now? Let me put it on the computer.
Oh.
There, can you hear me now?
Oh, there you go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I said, like I made like a little hook. It was just like, wake up, I ain't living enough. I need to get outside and catch some vibe. And then fucking, I just said that a couple times, and then I was like, fuck. Oh, I'm tired. Hold on, let me get up real quick.
Alright, bro.
Yeah. Wake up, I ain't living enough. I need to get outside and catch some vibe. Get out this box, go outside, look at the sun and the sky, close my eyes and put my mind in a vibe. I got to protect my energy and let no darkness enter me. I'm the coolest nigga. I ain't never had no enemies, and the women they be enemy trying to connect our energies, feeling. That's it. You have to wait till I finish it.
King
do
God
all
said,
the
play a
bars,
beat and get a cipher going.
Hey.
Hey, we gotta do that one day.
I got to protect my energies, can't let no darkness enemy. I'm the coolest nigga, I ain't never had no enemies. And the women, they be enemy, trying to connect our energies. Feeling me, wanna lay with me, stay with me, spend a day with me faithfully. I can't do nothing with her if she eat me though. But I could pull on my meat and she could eat me though. I should give her a shot like it's a free throw. She like, oh, there he goes. And light in her mind and not her brain, reaching for some clarity. The shit that we don't see with our eyes be scaring me. These niggas who in control of us, they be controlling us. We gotta snatch that controller from them and take our lives back. If you don't want to be controlled by them, tap into your higher self. It'll upgrade your health, might even get you some wealth, but it'll for sure make you rich. What you thought, love, and compassion. What you asking, hope it's the right question, my nigga. Not some bullshit question that'll keep you stressing, my nigga. Get your life up. That's how you get it, bro.
Bang bang. Thanks, bro. That was dope.
Good looking out, my G.
Mm-hmm. Go enjoy that sun. Or is it dark? Regardless, it's cool.
You feel me? Yeah, I just wanted to start fucking making music again because I'm tired of all of these niggas talking about killing each other and shit. Shit is annoying.
Yeah, that's a motivation. Because that is what's
I gotta
out
wake
there.
niggas up. It's a fact.
I'm about to find. Yo, you ever hear Aleister Crowley?
You said who?
You ever hear this guy called
Aleister? Fucking sirens going by.
Reality.
You said Alex what?
Aleister Crowley.
Nah.
He was this old magician, but I was looking up one of his books that I read a while ago called Magic Without Tears. It was like something that he put out there, like some magical literature. Like he put a lot of stuff out there for like things that he was into, and he put it out there in different forms too, like in letter forms a lot. But he was that guy. If you ever heard "Do What Thou Wilt Shall Be the Whole Law," if you ever heard stuff like that. Like he was the guy that made that up. Oh, yeah. That was a motivational phrase that got me like to where I am right now. To do whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing, and that's the whole law. Like that's what the law of the land is, the law of the all and stuff. Like you ever heard of Kabbalion and stuff when you talk about the all? It's like it's all like connected to that what he talking about too. It's like that same kind of error. I don't know, because they try to say they don't know who or when the Kabbalion was wrote. But, yeah.
Uh-huh. Have you ever heard of fucking, Gagut?
Gagger?
Gagut, G-A-G-U-T. God Almighty Grand Unified Theorem. Gagutian. I'm a Gagutian, boy.
No, I never heard of it.
Yeah, Gagut, G-A-G-U-T, God Almighty Grand Unified Theorem.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, research that shit.
Oh, I see it. I see it. I see a YouTube video of it. They got Dr. Gabriel Obido. Oibo.
Yeah, it's like about oneness and shit.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I was on the I'm keep this tab open right here, cause I don't want to get copyrighted. I was gonna play a clip. Well, I'm trying to dispute a copyright right now, so I don't want to push it too much.
Yeah, play it safe, G.
So I'm already talking about the wildest things on earth, literally. But and now
You're already pushing the envelope, nigga. I got to chill.
Nah, I ain't no chill button, but copyright, that's another thing. But the Magic Without Tears, cause just to know why you on it, since I'm talking to you. True, he saw that I was Aleister Crowley form in another life while he was in a dorm room watching on TV, and he was watching the Sata show. But it was me talking, and he knew it was me, but I wasn't in this avatar body. I was in another avatar body. And then I brought up to him that guy he mentioned, he didn't even bring that up to me the first time. So I was already like, yo, this is dope. Like we got intergalactic cable going on, like interdimensional cable. And so then he brought up today during his second I guess the 2 trips after that, that he said I didn't mention that you had the hat on with the triangle face and everything. And I feel connected to anybody that I ever like really got into, especially before I started intensely getting to these experiences. Well, even now I just see it, just the veil is just real thin. Like, oh, I know I'm them right now. But in the past, I would really be into people and try to develop my technique based off, or my stuff based off of what they were doing. Like even down to their lifestyle. And like I was like, oh wow, with similar lifestyles. Like Crowley, he grew up in Christian and then turned to the magic stuff and wrote the Book of the Law, Liber Alvega, and I should look up that too. But I'm sorry, trying to go with let me just type that in and then get back on the train. But it didn't come up. Book of the Law. It's wild. We used to making ourselves multitask, but we really should just let one thought go through at a time. No rush.
Bro. I'm trying to juggle all kind of shit, bro, and I need to chill and focus on 1 or 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, we be trying to be Superman.
Nah, I'm chilling. But me now reading this right now, it's like it seemed like I'm reading it to myself. Like I wrote this a long time ago and now I'm reading it back to myself. Like that's how it feels now, me looking at this page. That's why I wanted to read some of it because I don't remember all what it says. But it goes chapter 5, the universe, the 0 equals 2 equation. And he wrote this as a letter to Sarah Connor. I thought I was about to say Sarah Connor, like in Terminator. Cara Sora. It's like Cara, and then it's Soror. He said, "Do thou should be the whole law. Yes, I admit everything. It is all my fault. Looking over my past writings, I do see that my only one-pointed attempt to set forth a sound ontology was my early fumbling letter brochure, blah, blah, blah. Since then, I have seemed to keep assuming that everybody knew all about it, referring to it, quoting it, but never sitting down seriously to demonstrate the theses." I guess I had to read, like, the first chapter on this. Oh, and it says it too. Chapter 0 of Magic and Theory and Practice skates gently over it. The Nepal's arrangement in the Book of Thoth dodges it with really, like, this is really as a letter. Hold on. So then a letter to it is exceedingly strange because every time I think of the equation, I am thrilled with a keen glow of satisfaction that this symptomnal riddle of the Sphinx should have been answered at last. I think he's talking about the equation 0 equals 2. So then he says, so then now give me the delight and comfort of stating the problem from the beginning and proving the soundness of the solution, of showing that the contradiction of this equation is unthinkable. Are you ready? Forward paddle. We are aware. We cannot doubt the existence, rather real or illusionary, makes no difference, of something, because doubt itself is a form of awareness. We lumped together, wow, it really is like I wrote this to myself. We lumped together all that we would, and it's like I'm saying that and I know that I'm just acting like this is a surprise, but it is a surprise. It's weird. We're not just one thing at one time. We lump together all of that which, and then this is all points he put. This is C. We lump together all that of which we are aware under the convenient name of existence or the universe. Cosmos is not so good for this purpose. That word implies order, which in this present stage of our argument is a mere assumption. And then he said D. We also tend to think of the universe as containing things of which we are not aware, but this is altogether unjustifiable. Although it is difficult to think at all without making some such assumption. For instance, one may come upon a new branch of knowledge such as history, something, or the language of the Iroquois, or the poems of the Hermaphrodite of Panormati. It seems to be there are already waiting for us. We simply cannot believe that we are making it all up as we go along. For all that it is sheer I don't know these words. History. Hold on, let me see what that means. History. The use of foolish argument, especially with the intention of deceiving. For all that it is sheer deception, we may merely be unfolding the contents of our own mind. Then again, does a thing cease to exist if we forget it? The answer is that one cannot be sure. That's what he's saying. Hey, what's going on, Prince Pearl? First coming on through. Hey, Leviathan. Oh, you right there. I told you, this is an avatar. This avatar's talking.
I had to come like the video, show love to the chat real quick.
Thanks, bro. But yo, that's wild that he said that. It's not even wild. I want people to see how he's saying that right there. He say, for instance, we come across a new branch of knowledge, and it's like it was already waiting for us, and we act like we cannot believe that we are all making it up as we're going along. And that's why I be saying the mushroom dentation of the past don't really exist. Everything that you even thinking in the past, it can be changed now because it's happening now. There is no difference. There is no confusion. Like, and no need for confusion.
It's all the same moment, right?
Yeah, it's the same moment.
It's like all about how you perceive it. Like, yeah, it could be the future, it could be the past, or it could just be the now. All happening in a single moment. No matter how long the moment takes, it's just all now.
Man, that's because like I was saying, it's like I wrote this right now. Like we all wrote this, really, so that we can tell it right now. And like you were saying, depending on the perspective, like y'all created me to read this for y'all. And I'm just a puppet right now. And y'all like, oh, keep reading or say this. And I'm like, all right, come on, I got it. I got it. Oh, and it's all happening at the same time. And that's how it's a never ending story. Like the story is never ending. The story is being told from this perspective, and then it's the same story but from another perspective. But from another perspective being told from like just another view. And it's all happening at the same time. That's the awesome thing. And then he said, then again, does a thing cease to exist if we forget it? And he said, personally, I feel convinced of the existence of a universe outside of my own intimate awareness. But it is true, even so, that it does not exist for me unless and until it takes its place as part of my consciousness. And I was thinking, man, that Crowley reading this right now. Well, all this paragraph D is in the nature of a discretion. For what you may think of it does not at all touch the argument of this letter, but it had to be put in just to prevent your mind from raising irrelevant objections. Let me continue then from C. Like he knew his awareness so much that he knew this thing was going to be downloaded to a PDF eventually on the internet. And he probably didn't even know. He just put the magic out there. It's all the same thing. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It said for something, and then we on to F. Something is, period. This something appears incalculably vast and complex. How did it come to be? This, briefly, is the riddle of the universe, which has always been the first preoccupation of all serious philosophers since men began to think at all. The orthodox idiot answer, usually wrapped up in obscure terms in the hope of concealing from the inquirer the fact that it is not an answer at all, but an invasion, is God created it. then then obviously who created God? Sometimes we have a demiurge, a creative God behind whom is an internal formless greatness, anything to confuse the issue. Sometimes the universe is supported by an elephant. He in turn stands on a tortoise. By that time it is hoped that the inquirer is too tired and muddled to ask what holds up the tortoise. Sometimes a great father and mother crystallize out of some huge cloudy confusion of elements and so on, but nobody answers the questions. At least none of these God invented mules with their incurably commonplace minds. And this is the developing attitude. Then it was his. I really had to jump into this in order to shake my world out of what I was into, because I didn't have psychedelics yet. I'm just tying on my own life right now, my story. I was getting into this character. Hey, what's going on, Melissa? And I was getting onto this character, and this is what I was running onto that was shaping I say this character in this reality. Like, this was the awakening. Like, oh wow, oh, like. Oh, that was so funny. I'm just laughing at myself right now because I remember the meditations he was doing. That's when I started first practicing pranayama breathing and all the other names that I don't remember. I just like took the practice from it. The names is always hard for me to remember. But that can change. That can change. And I was just reminded, that's why I turned this back on. When I was reading from one of his books before, when I started it was the Just Time mini-sode. And I was reading one of his books that was talking about how that paragraph was about religion and the slave gods and creating false imaginations to enslave, like just to feel like you're enslaved by something, because it's still just part of your story from our perspective right now. But in that thing, it seemed like a ghost or something moved past the camera when I was talking, and then in the end, it was like this butterfly or something that flew past that I didn't. It was something. No, it wasn't a butterfly. It was something that flew. I'm trying to say it's a butterfly. I guess it was something that flew past the screen when it was over that I didn't know until I watched over the video, and I like went frame by frame like good old History Channel style, looking at the UFO stuff. And I was like, yo, this was a good show. Like, something showed up. Something appeared. I gotta find that video. It's somewhere in the files. I can actually look it up. I know where it is. I just don't feel like really dealing with the loading times. I'll just point out the video, point the way while that loads. But where's that chapter at? Huh. But yes, philosophy and being a serious like that's how it is at school. That's why I'm saying college and stuff. It seems like college is an awesome thing, but they don't tell you the meat of it. Like they don't even give you the juice of it. Like if you got psychedelics and you taking a philosophy class at the same time, like you'll be chilling. Like you breeze through. You'll create new philosophies while you're there, and then they be like, "Oh man, this kid's a whiz."
Wizard Harry.
Yeah, he's a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. And then, man, instead of just thinking that you just learning all about Plato and learning about Plato life, and now you just gotta talk about Plato all the time. Whenever you reference your new and fresh ideas, you gotta say, "Well, Plato said," "Oh, this guy said." And it's like now, like you can say what you said, based off of what they said and what you experienced, just like what they was experienced back then, or just even your own version. You know what I mean? Like having them psychoactives going about your body, or just the silent darkness in a cave for days upon days and release some DMT in you. And yeah, I actually do want to kind of finish seeing what he wrote. The last of these is on the surface the most plausible for almost the first thing that we notice on intro and inspecting the universe is what the Hindu schools calls the pair of opposites. This too is very convenient because it lends itself so readily to orthodox theology. So we have Ormans and Aharman, the Devas and the Arahas, Osiris and Set, etc. and Da Kupa, personifications of good and evil. The foes may be fairly matched, but more often the tale tells of a revolt in heaven. In this case, evil is temporary. Soon, especially with the financial help of the devout, the devil will be cast into the bottomless pit, and the saints will reign with Christ in glory forever and ever. Amen. Often a redeemer, a dying God, is needed to secure victory to omnipotence, and this is usually what little vulgar boys might call a touching story. Like, he really wrote that. He had the attitude. The Manis or Advaita school is at once subtler and more refined. It seems to approach the ultimate reality. The Manis, I think he's talking about monks and stuff. It seems to approach the ultimate reality as opposed to the superficial explanation of the dualists more closely. And I see this, like, when people, like, don't really go into Buddhism. Like, I went into Buddhism too, and this was all before psychedelics. I was like, this is the next step. Like, oh, the Buddha said this, the Buddha said Confucius. Oh wow, like the temple, the colors, they know everything. So I was about to sign up for not sign up, but go to a Buddhist monastery and everything, like, because I thought that was the everything. Now I probably still go there to experience and, like, just to see. But before, I was going to it like a church. Because I was like, man, forget all the other church I've been taught. Like, this is closer. And this is exactly like how Crowley was writing out in this thing. It was like, this is that. And it seemed like that was my next step. That was my next step. And I remember this lady walking up to me with a book, and she wanted to invite me to this yoga Buddhist section. It was a white lady on South Street in Philly. I never went. And I think that's because I did acid or something. And I saw her coming at me in a weird way. So I was like smiling. It was cool because I'm still a gentle person. I was cool and stuff. So, oh yeah, I'll come and I'll check it out and stuff like that. But I'm just now getting in touch with my back thoughts where I was like, like it's a group of people they doing this. But hey, that was just me being antisocial too. But it's a lot of stories. I admit to everything. But yeah. So long, Jake Megabyte. But yeah, to keep it going. The pair of opposites. Hold on. That the least of these on the surf. Wait, let me make sure that thing. I always gotta double check on this because I be jumping realities and I be thinking I did stuff and I ain't do it. I recorded a whole video this morning and my face was covered. I was like, I swore I clicked on the other one, the other tab. So mistakes are sometimes not just it's just honing in on your magical gift. Because you in a bunch of realities at the same time and your awareness is there. It says this too is convenient. The most possible is first. Hindus call. Yep. It seems to me that this doctrine is based upon the sororities of doubtful validity. To tell you the hideous, shameful truth, I hate this doctrine so rapidly that I can hardly trust myself to present it fairly. But I will try. Then I said I have a bunch of stuff too going on, and meanwhile you can study it in the handhilds in the Bhagavad Gita. I actually have that book. Bhagavad Gita. It's not right here though. And Hernus heckles the riddle universe and dozens of other classes. The dogma appears to excite his dupes to whatever word he just made up. I have to admit the poetry of the idea, but there is something in me which vehemently rejects it with excruciating and invictive violence. Possibly this is because part of our own system runs parallel with the first equations of theirs. The Monists perceive quite clearly and correctly that it is absurd to answer the question, how came these many things, of which we are aware to be, by saying that they came from many, and many in this connection includes two. The universe therefore be a single phenomena, make it eternal, and all the rest of it, i.e., removal of all limit of any kind in the universe, explains itself. How then can opposites exist, as we observe them to do? It is not the very essence of our original sororities that the many must be reducible to the one. Is it not the very essence of our original sororities that the many must be reducible to the one? They see how awkward this is, so the devil of the duelist is emystified and evaporated into illusion, what they call Maya or some equivalent term. I know what he's saying. What he's trying to say is how in the monks and the how they try to put it out there, and you start seeing when people try to be too much of a hippie and just look at the butterflies and fire and flowers, and they say you can't get lost in the Maya. Now I remember that. Shout outs to Infinite Waters talking about Maya and stuff. But they used to say don't get trapped up in the Maya. Are you about to have to go?
I'm gonna go tap in on the PlayStation and watch and shit.
All right, bro. Thanks for coming by.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna go watch it and shit right now.
All right, bro. Take care.
Hop in the chat.
I see you there. Hold on. There it is. We back in. Yeah, what he was talking about was trying not to get so caught up in Maya, and I was going into that. So then you start not paying attention to the things that's going around you so much, and you start saying it don't really matter. So the responsibilities and stuff, you start letting it fall by the wayside. And then was doing that, and I was being depressed because I was like, yo, I want to do this. I actually want to do this. I feel good when I do this. But I was like, yo, I can't, Gandalf or Witch can't tell. Hey, I'm Santi. It's clear in the chat. Discord been choppy. And it keeps on going. The level keeps on going. And but getting caught up, and then you say I still don't care how, and you get lost in the duality. The paradox makes sense, but it's hard to live in it. It's hard to live in the duality when you see in the Maya as something as illusion that you shouldn't really be paying that much attention to. And then you be like, wait, I'm living here. And it is mushrooms. They might as well. If y'all see them, they there. And then that took away though my essence of feeling like I was dope, feeling like I wasn't in my commander seat. And that's what the DMT and mushrooms put me in. They say, yeah, all this is going on, but also this is going on at the same time that this is going on. Like when somebody's trying to teach you duality and how to live above a paradox and in the paradox at the same time, doesn't really kick game to you. It can sound nice, and when you're trying to do the right thing in life and you want to make sure you getting those checkpoints from God or checkpoints like the Buddha. Like shout outs to Lisa Simpson. Lisa Simpson shows that character for people when you're watching that. She's very intelligent. She has a brain. She's a vegan. She does all these things to try to get the checkpoints to be right. And the latest episode, Todd Flanders, excuse me. Todd Flanders' son stops believing in Jesus because he starts thinking about why did his mom have to die. And Lisa, throughout the episode, keeps trying to throw Buddha on him. And because she was like seeing, because he spoke up in the church about Jesus and stuff and God, how his views on God changed. And, you know, Flanders, he's all niddly bit bit bit. So that was falling by the wayside with him. But Lisa was like, yeah, you're on to something. You're on to something. And then she said, now here goes the Buddha. Here goes the Buddha. And but Todd's mind was still so far out there beyond any program and trying to get latched on that he caught wind, just like Aleister Crowley and how I'm saying right now. That it's just another story. It's just another story. It's another story. It's a good story. It's good poetry. It has a lot of awesome things that you can extract from there because we created it. We created this whole lineage, this whole story right now. So it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a thing. So so now that the mushrooms allow me to exist, like experience that duality, like outside of the things creating these words and all of these things right now, I'm able to now see things. See. My water hose, 420, you said my water hose just ripped. Now I'm stranded waiting for a towel. I'm high as fuck, so I'm chilling. It's all the same thing. Bullshit, good shit. It's all good stuff. It's all the same, right, bro? It's all about how much we chilling. Like, are you really chilling? Really chilling? You ever get caught up in something and people be like, why are you mad? Like, I ain't mad. I'm just responding. Cause you, like, if you really zoom out and you look at that character, you mad. You ain't chilling. You ain't chilling. You ain't chilling like you think you chilling. You ain't at the level of chill that you think you experiencing. But when you chilling, you know you chilling. It just comes out like that. But yeah, be dope, be you, be change. Like, don't be sitting around all. I'm thinking back of what the guy was. Oh, why does it say stream complete? Turning now. Oh, I'm already streaming. Alright, cool. See, I'm doing all the job, but every time people's taking a step, I was hitting the thing, and it's like choo 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 choo. Like, was that coming out my mouth or out of my hands? Is that the sound my hands was making as they moved through the air? I thank y'all for all tuning in. All 8 people still there in the chat. Thank y'all. For that, I'm gonna keep on going. I think we're still in the K in Magic Without Tears, Aleister Crowley's magical instruction manual, aware must obviously possess limits, or it could have no intelligible meaning for us. If we want pork, we must specify its qualities and quantities. At the very least, we must be able to distinguish it from that which is not pork, quote unquote. But one moment, please. This is Advaitism. And most fascinating danger. Wait, bring that back up. Yeah, we're here listening, but the streams keep restarting. I know, bro. I don't know why I was doing that. That's why I'm fixing it in hyperspace so the memes can come, so we can get our own Wi-Fi in here and keep the story going. Playing some Shadow of War. The artificial intelligence. Oh. Okay. Cause I wanna really see this. I'm gonna really see this. Let's go up. Let's go up. Okay. There's eventually about a moment last. There is advantism, a most fascinating danger. That is up to a certain point religious experience tends to support this theory. A word on this: vulgar minds, such as are happy with a personal god, Vishnu, Jesus, Martha, Mithra, or another, often excite themselves. Call it energized enthusiasm, if you want to be sarcastic, to the point of experiencing actual visions of the objects of their devotions. And we see this a lot. People seeing Mary. Oh, why is it cutting me off? I'm gonna start recording this. We gotta record back up, cause. All right. So this is recording too. So just in case it get too choppy, I'll re-upload starting at this point right now. To the point of actually, people actually experiencing Mother Mary and Jesus and different characters during their psychedelic journeys. And this is what I was saying. This is what there's still in some part of them. They still have a devotion to this ideology, to this idea. They still somewhere is holding to this. So when they go into these psychedelic realms, that's what they're going to see, and it's going to feel the way that it's going to feel the way to them that the way that that it's already feeling to them. That's what I'm trying to say. The way it already feels to them is the way it's going to feel to them when they see it. They're seeing his magnificent glory, that is Jesus or Vishnu or any of that, and then that's what they should give their devotion to, when really it was just an experience. It's still cool to see if that was what was there, but then it's still some work to do. It's still a religious experience. It's still something. It's just an experience, you know. Well, was what I'm saying. You don't have to know. To the point of experiencing actual visions of the objects of devotion. But these people have not so much asked themselves the original question of how come, which is a subject. Sweep them into the discard. I was about to say discord. I was like, whoa. And beyond Vishvaprasadhana, the vision of the form of Vishnu, beyond the yet loftier vision, which corresponds in Hindu classification to our knowledge and conversation of the holy and guardian angel. That's what I was used to say was my only goal back then, was to have conversation with my holy guardian angel, which I see later as people was trying to term as your higher self and other words like that. But that was how I seen it. I wanted to have a conversation with this thing, and that is called Atadarshana, the vision or apprehension, of a much better word, of the universe as a single phenomena outside all limitations, rather of time, space, causality, or not. And this what Crowley was saying back then. Very good then. Here we are with direct realization of the advent theory of the universe. Y'all can read that word and get the right pronunciation. Everything fits perfectly. Also, when I say realization, I want you to understand that I mean what I say in a sense so intense and so absolute that it is impossible to convey my meaning to anyone who has not undergone that experience. I was saying that a while, just right before then. I was saying that the experience, the one that psychedelic gives you, so you can exist in that paradox and know what it is without somebody trying to describe it for you. And thus falling into, it's this thing called Maya I shouldn't get into. It's this shot, I gotta keep control of this. I gotta do this and do that because this is what worked for them. This is what worked for that. And I feel some spookiness vibe about a religious vibe about us. But the mushroom and the DMT, they bring you to the experience where you see it for yourself. You experience what the magic is for that character that's beyond this avatar. Also, I want to say realization. I want you to understand what I mean. Yep. And this is how do we judge the reality of an ordinary impression upon consciousness? Chiefly by its intensity, by its persistence, by the fact that nobody can argue us out of our belief in it. As people said of Berkeley's idealism, his arguments are irrefutably, but they fail to carry conviction. No skeptical, no idealistic queries can persuade us that a kick in the pants is not real in any reasonable sense of the word. Moreover, memory reassures us, however a vivid dream may be at the time, however vivid a dream may be at the time, however it may persist through the years, though it is rare for any dream, unless frequently repeated or linked to waking impressions by some happy conjunction of circumstances, to remain long in the mind with any clear-cut vision. It is hardly ever mistaken for an event of actual life. Good. Then, as waking life is to dream, so, yes, more so, is religious experience as above described, to that life common to all of us. All of what he's saying is all of us have religious experiences. All, like what people term in that umbrella. We all have that. When you're in the common life, you see things as paying it as a religious experience. Good than waking life. It is not merely easily, it is natural. Well, it's not merely easy, it is natural, not merely natural, but inevitable for anyone who has experienced samadhi. This word conveniently groups the higher levels of visions, or I'll say, if you had a psychedelic experience in the dark, to regard normal life as illusion by comparison with this state in which all problems are resolved, all doubts driven out. Nope. Hey, why did I put this back on? Alright, bang. Okay. Check the clip I posted in Discord. Now that wizardly, lol. So skilled, bro. I'm gonna check it out. Let's see what you posted. Oh, some art. Yeah, I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna check it out in a bit. I have pulled it up in the other screen. He's saying that beyond that Atma Darshana comes the experience of Shiva, in which, yep, it is commonplace to say that no words can describe this final destruction. Such is the fact, and there is nothing one can do about it but put it down boldly as I have done above. As we always just tie. Man, love, this is awesome. I can't even put into words. I'm just trying to keep bringing about this experience to show how much I really am feeling on the inside, and that's what's creating more of the show, more of this moment. Such is the fact. There is nothing one can do about it but put it down boldly as I put above. It does not matter to our present purpose. All we need to know is that the strongest prop of the monist structure has broken off short. Moreover, it is really adequate to postulate an origin of the... Is it really adequate to postulate an origin of the universe as they inevitably do? Merely to deny that there ever was a beginning by saying that this one is eternal fails to satisfy me. What is very much worse, I cannot see that to call evil illusion helps us at all, which is what we was tied on earlier. When the Christian scientist hears that his wife has been savagely mauled by her PK, he has to smile and say, that is a claim of error. Not good enough. It has taken a long while to clear the ground. That I did not expect. The above propositions are so familiar to me, they run so cleanly through my mind that until I came to set them down in order, I have no idea what a long and difficult business it was. Still, it is a long lane. We have seen that two or many are unsatisfactory as origin, if only because they can always be reduced to one. The one itself is no better, because among other things it finds itself forced to deny the premise on which it was founded. Shall we be any better off if we assume that ex nihilo nihil fit is a falsehood, that origin of all things is nothing? Let us see. Shall we first glance at the mathematical aspect of nothing, including its identical equation and logic. This I worked out so long ago as 1902 in Breschreff, which you will find reprinted in the Sorta collections. Is there? When in the ordinary way of business we write 0, we should really write 0 to the nth power. Dot 1, for 0 implies that the subject is not extended in any dimension under discussion. Thus, a line may be 2 feet in length, but in breadth and depth, the coefficient is 0. We could describe it as 2f 0b 2f times 0b times 0d, which is equal. Y'all can see the equation right there. I'm gonna jump out True Discord. Let's go. I'm in True Discord, but I'm on a podcast just reading this thing that
Your mic is choppy, bro. I can't hear nothing you saying.
Everybody keeps saying that when I get on. Hold on, let me type it on there. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, I was saying I'm on the podcast. I was just I'm reading this letter that Aleister Crowley wrote a long time ago.
Oh shit, my bad, bro. My bad. I didn't even know. I just jumped in. I ain't even know.
Oh no, you're good. I'm on a way different Discord, so it's all right.
Okay.
It's just he had a part now where he talking about how we should really write the word 0, because 0 does not extend dimension under discussion. Because as soon as you discuss something, it exists, so it's no longer 0. It's no longer nothing. It is a thing.
Oh, it's a thing. Okay.
So and then he wrote, what I propose in considering what do we mean by nothing was to consider every possible quality of any object as a dimension. For instance, one might describe this page as being NF plus NB plus, he got some other N apostrophe D plus zero reduces plus 0. Well, he got a lot of stuff going on. I just gotta see it until you have noted and measured all the qualities it possesses and excluded all that it does not. For convenience, we may write this expression as, like, he got life written as math equations. With just one further explanation in pure mathematics to interpret x1, x to the power of 1, x to the power of 1 plus 1, or x2, and so on, we assume the reference to be spatial dimensions. Thus, suppose x1 to be a line a foot long, x2 will be a plane a foot square, and x3 a cube measuring a foot in each dimension. But what about x4? There are no spatial dimensions. Modern mathematics has, unfortunately, I think, agreed to consider this the fourth dimension as time. Well, x5. To interpret this expression, we may begin to consider other qualities such as electric capacity, color, moral attributes, and so on. 3. This remark, although necessary, leads us away from our main theses instead of towards it. What happens when we put a minus sign before the index, that small letter up on the right, instead of plus? Quite simple. X to the power of 2 is equal to x to the power of 1 plus 1, which is equal to x to the power of 1 plus x to the power of 1. With a minus, we divide instead of multiplying. Thus, x to the power of 3 minus 2 is equal to x to the power of 3 divided by x to the power of 2, which is equal to x to the power of 1. Just as if you had merely subtracted the 2 from the 3 in the index. Now at last, what? Don't jump around. I'm gonna get really lost. I'm still trying to keep track right now. What happens when we dang, yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. I already said it. But what happens when we put a minus sign before the end? Yeah. Now at last we come to the point of real importance to our theses. Like, why he really said this. How shall we interpret x to the power of 0? May we write it obviously as x to the power of 1 minus 1, or x n to the power of n minus n? Good, divide. Then x to the power of 1 divided by itself is equal to 1. This is the same, clearly enough, whatever x may be. But what we started to do was discover the meaning of nothing. It is not correct to write it simply as 0, for that 0 implies that an index 0 to the first power, or 0 to the second. I forget what that thing. 0 to the bracket 2 second, and y'all can see it, or 0 to the n power. And if our nothing is to be absolute nothing, then there is not only no figure, but no index either. So we must write it as 0 to the power of 0. What is the value of this expression as we proceed before? This is a whole math lesson, guys. Yo, somebody, I was just talking to one of the people that work at my daughter program, and he said, yeah, you could talk about what I do. I ain't the CIA or nothing, because I said I was going to have some fun. I was going to talk to people. And then I told him about the mushrooms and stuff. And he was asking me, for some reason, he asked me, was I good at math? He asked me, I see for this reason right now, was I good at math? Because math used to be my favorite subject. I used to see equations just floating in the space to make things easier for what I was working on and stuff like that. But I ain't trying to make this all about me, really. Whatever comes out, comes out. And I was seeing a lot of math stuff. But he just asked me that yesterday. And then, like, I'm running across this math stuff, and I'm like, yo, I get this, but I'm hoping that a lot of other people are piecing it together. But that's why it's recorded, so we can always rewind, cross-reference, and do all the other stuff that we need to do to satisfy the mystery. Now, lest we come to a point, he's talking about 0 to the 0 power. So what is the expression as we proceed as before? Divide. 0 to the 0 power is equal to 0 to the n minus n power is equal to that. It's equal to 0 to the n divided by 0 to the n, which is equal to 0 to the n power divided by 1 times 0 divided by 1 divided by 0 to the n. Of course, 0 to the n power divided by 1 remains 0, but 1 divided by 0 to the bracket n, that equals infinity. That is, we have a clash of the infinitively great with the infinitively small. But that knocks out the infinity and the adventism with it, and leaves us with an indeterminate but finite number of utter variety. That is, 0 to the 0 power can be interpreted as the universe that we know. That we know. I love it. So much for one demonstration. Some people have found fault with the algebra, but the logical equivalent is precisely parallel. Suppose I wish to describe my study in one respect. I can say no dogs are in my study, or dogs are not in my study. I can make a little diagram D. D is the world of dogs. S is my study. Here it is. Here go what I'm talking about. Oh, he going deep. So y'all get that. Y'all see what y'all did right there. Y'all see what he did. What Crowley did. He made the 0 to the 0 power equal to infinity. Like, because it's the same thing. And it's just here though. It's just in this reality, the infinite potential here, but it's other realities with other zeros. It's different 0 points, you know? Alright, let's keep going. Oh, they got a diagram talking about the diagram, but they don't actually show it. They said the squares are separate, quite separate. The world outside the square D is the world of no dogs. Outside the square S, the world of no study. But suppose now that I want to make the 0 absolute, like our 0 is to the power of 0. I must say no dogs are not in my study. Or there is no absence of dogs in my study. That is the same as saying some dogs are in my study. Diagram 2. And that, oh man, I wish I could see it. The world where no dogs are included the whole of my study. In diagram 2, the absence of dog is no longer there. So one or more of them must have got in somehow. That is, I know it may be a little difficult at first. Fortunately, there is a way, the Chinese way, of stating the theorem in much simpler terms. The Chinese, like ourselves, begin with the idea of absolute nothing. They make an effort and call it the tainow. But that is exactly what the tainow comes to mean when we examine it. They see quite well, as we have done above, that merely to assert nothing is not to explain the universe. Then they proceed to do so by means of mathematical equations even simpler than ours, involving as it does no operation beyond simple addition and subtraction. They say, nothing obviously means nothing. It has no qualities nor quantities. The Adventists said the same, and then stultified themselves completely by calling it one. But continue the sage sagas of the Middle Kingdom. It is always possible to reduce any expression to nothing by taking any two equal in opposite terms. Thus, n is equal to is equal to apostrophe negative n apostrophe is equal to that. We ought therefore to be able to get any expression that we want from we ought therefore to get any expression that we want from nothing. We merely have to be careful that the terms shall be precisely opposite and equal. Then they did that. But then they did and begin to degrammarize the universe as a pair of opposites, the yang or active and the yin or passive female principles. They represent the yang by an unbroken line, dotted line, and the yin by a broken line. The first manifestation in nature of these two is Phi Yang, the sun, and Sin Yin, the moon. This being a little large and loose. They doubled these lines and obtained the four Hsing. Then he talking about the I Ching. They then took them three at a time and got the 8 kawa. This represents the development, the natural order of the elements. They arrange it like that. I think I'm gonna take it's only a little bit left. I think I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna finish it. We're gonna power through it. Now this is interesting to me. Like, this is everything that I've been, like, even for myself, that I've been saying. And this is just I see it as just another breadcrumb, as a reminder of something on a higher scale. And even for y'all listening, like y'all, like I said before, y'all created me in this moment to read this. Know how admirably they have preserved the idea, depending on all on your perspectives. All perspective, baby. Know how admirably I have preserved the idea of balance. M1 and F1 are perfection. M2 and F2 still keep balance in their lines. The four elements show imperfection, yet they are still balanced against each other. Note too how apart are the idioms. M3 shows the flames flickering on the hearth. Yeah, we need to. In order to get that, I need the actual diagram. But it's still cool. They go in the double, blah, blah, blah. And the pure enthusiastic delight in the harmony and beauty system has led me thus far. In the pure has led me thus far. My one essential purpose is to show how the universe was derived by these wise men from nothing. When you have assimilated these two sets of equations, when you have understood how 0 equals 2 is unique, the simple and the necessary solution of the riddle of the universe, there will be, in a sense, little more for you to learn about the theory of magic. You should, however, remember most constantly that the equation of the universe, however complex it may seem, inevitably reels out to 0. For to accomplish this is the formula of your work as the mystic. To remind you, and to amplify certain points of the above. Let me quote Magic Page. Blah, 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 blah. All elements must at one time have been separate. That will be the case with great heat. Now when atoms get to the sun, we get that immense, extreme heat, and all the elements are themselves again. Imagine that each atom of each element possesses the memory of all his adventures in combination. By the way, that atom fortified with that memory would not be the same atom if it did not have that memory. Yet it is, because it has gained nothing from anywhere except this memory. Therefore, it's this Avenged Sevenfold song, A7X, called, because it's not coming to my head, I'm just typing the lyrics. Yes, there it is. Shout out to Avenged Sevenfold, called Reminiscence. It start off saying, a good friend once told me, you are memory. Without them, we are equal nothing. And all that, I gotta read these lyrics. Cause shout out to Avenged Sevenfold. Y'all know I always dip and dabble. And I didn't know, guys, that y'all was looking at me that whole time. I'm so I swore that it was showing the words. So y'all just saw, that's cool. It's alright. I'm dancing around the keyboard right now. But this was the song by Avenged Sevenfold called Reminiscence. And then I grew up, Avenged Sevenfold was the first band that I was like actively into. Like I went to the store and brought their CD and everything. But, wait, is this Reminiscence? When we sink inside our skin, we feel ours. Wait. No, wait. They switched over what I was on. I swore that's what came up at the top. Alright, I'm gonna click right here and see what come up. Oh yeah, I'm all like I forgot the song. There it is. Said with this ink in my skin we sealed our fate in the XCOM, blah blah blah. If they didn't have one, how would they act? If they didn't have hope, how would they behave? Would they still feel remorse if they slaughter innocent beings? Or is hope the only thing that keeps you sane? A good friend once told me, you are memory. Without them, we equal nothing. And all I can see is this place I want to be. Suddenly, my life was so free. Leaves at my feet blown to the ground. Their echoes are reaching my ears. Nights coming fast, sun's going down. But keep away from me, keep away from me. And he wrote this when he was at a place where it was like a schizophrenic phrase. Because, you know, when you're growing up, you don't have all the answers to the things that's going around you. So this song was coming at me at this exact moment, like how y'all seeing now, because there is no past. But it was coming at me like this, and the next verse is like, keep away, keep away. You start fighting them thoughts away, and that's what I did. I pushed myself away into a place where I wasn't having these visions and things, and I was trying to simulate into one reality when that was just another falsehood. And then y'all see I was saying before how Crowley was writing out. We go through the stages, looking up to we're getting Christian, and then we like get into the Buddha stuff, and we like see how they had we put one over top of the other, and the more you experience things and go into the void, into that Shavita, I think he said, and experience the nothing, like the destruction of nothing, then that's when you come back and you like, oh yeah, like the old black. Oh hell, I ain't smoked this whole time. I was chilling, but hey, thank you. Guess I could chill a little more.
Hey, there's great love and attention and caring in what like my grandmother used to hum all the time. There's some kind of, man, I don't know. She's from the South, so like.
Oh, she know what's up.
Definitely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It feels good. It's like you know you the whole orchestra while you humming, but the most you doing right now is just doing the but it's like you able to play that whole vision land. Like that's the connecting piece. Oh, it went out. Oh, what's that? But yeah, A7X, that was their song called Reminiscence. That's why I gotta pay attention. But yeah, I guess I can actually finish what he wrote and make sure the words come up at the same time. There we go. It said, therefore, by the way, let me just start from the beginning. By the way, that atom fortified with that memory would not be that same atom. Yet it is, because it has gained nothing from anywhere except this memory. Therefore, by the lapse of time and by virtue of memory, a thing could become something more than itself. Thus, a real development is possible. One can then see a reason for any element deciding to go through this series of incarnations, because so, and only so, can he go, and he suffers the lapse of memory which he has during these incarnations, because he knows he will come through unchanged. Therefore, you have an infinite number of gods, individual and equal, though diverse, each one supreme and utterly indestructible. This is also the only explanation of how a perfect being, quote unquote, could create a world in which war, evil, etc. exists. God is only an appearance, because, like good, quote unquote, it cannot affect the substance itself, but only multiply its combinations. This is something the same as mystic monotheism, but all parts of himself, so that this interplay is false. If we presuppose many elements, their interplay is natural. It is no objection to this theory to ask who made the elements. The elements are at least, and God. The elements are at least there, and God, when you look for him, is not there. This how he wrote it. Theism is is that a Latin word? Yeah. Obscurum per obscurius. I don't know. A male star is built. Wait, let's see what that phrase actually say. I can ask Google real fast. I don't want to just be talking. The obscure by means of the more obscure. Like that's what comes up when I type it in. Explaining the obscure by means of more obscure. That's what obscurum per obscuraris. I'll put it in the Discord real fast so y'all can see the word.
To be obscure by being obscure. You know what I mean?
Like I'm saying, but I'm not saying. A male star is built up from the center outwards, a female from the circumference inward. This is what is meant when we say the woman has no soul. Oh, I'm thinking of that song when he said, Led Zeppelin song. Soul of a woman was And it's another song where he said, woman, no, let me see. Led
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Zeppelin. It's a song. Woman No Soul. Yeah, they got a song called Black Dog. Cause I used to like how he played the drum in the drum solo in this. I used to play that all the time. but do it got any real lyrics? But that's what he really meant. Yeah, bro. We was talking about reading Crowley's book called Magic Without Tears. Like and it's like I wrote this for me to read right now in this time. Like if you watch this back, the synchronicities is just, you know how it is. It's playing out. It's playing out, and I'm just playing with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm like at the doctor's office. Man, my son had a day.
What happened to him?
Nothing. He just had an appointment.
Oh. For some reason, I'm thinking he broke a leg or something. I was like,
seemed like this day just lasted forever, and it's still not over.
3:33.
Man. Oh, dang. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm just listening. I'm about to sit back and just listen to y'all, though.
All right. Thanks for have a good one at the doctor. What to say? Theism is being talking about the wait, because I want to know this. I want to know how. I got all these tabs open. Explaining the obscure by means of being more obscure. All right. A male star is built up from the center outwards. A female star is from the circumference inwards. This is what it's meant when they say the woman has no soul. And that's what I was saying. That I was looking for lyrics to see, but it's all in the music.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't have no. They
soul
never really
of
said.
A woman. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, thanks, bro. That's what you say. I hear you now. a male star is built up, and thanks, bro. Thank you. A male star is built up from this. I'm reading it again. It explains fully the difference between the sexes. Every act of love under will has the dual result. 1, the creation of a child, combining the qualities of the parent. 2, the withdrawal by ecstasy into nothingness. Please consult what I have elsewhere written on the formula of the tetragrammatron. The importance of this at the moment is to show how 0 and 2 appear constantly in nature as the common order of events. Love is the law, love the will. Fraternally 666. Oh, that's cool. And that was his little essay. And the formula of the tetragrammatron, that's what oh wow, this just bringing back so many memories. But I'll probably leave it off here soon. But I'm gonna show y'all what that is. It's like I brought this here. It's just some good old reminders. The formula of the tetragrammatron. Yod He Vod He. That's what it was. Yod He Vod He. It was breaking it down. The meaning. The tetragrammatron is a Greek word meaning word of 4 letters and refers to the Hebraic name of God. When they say Yehovah and stuff like that, the name was always held in supreme regard by Kabbalists as the name of great power and symbolic meaning. The letters of his name has been attributed to the 4 elements, the 4 suits of the Tarot, the 4 worlds of Kabbalism, and other conceivably, and whatever that is. On the Tree of Life, they're typically attributed to the Sephiroth. Oh, that's going to a lot of Tree of Life, and I had to bring up a lot of reference material. But yeah, on the Tree of Life, it's just the system of magic with a K. How intelligent these people were. Like, they didn't just, I'm just seeing how now, they didn't just come here and just wrote some fantasy real fast. And it's like, yeah, we're running around with capes on and hats and messing with potions in the labs. Like, they was really doing what we're doing now. They're doing now. But, and they're like, they was even years ahead, like even more, like even farther, more advanced. they have it embedded in their language. Like, you see how we say we don't have the words to say things and to put things together, and we sound crazy saying this. You see how he wrapped it all up into math and said, look how I made 0 equals 2. Like, I made it. Like, you can see, you can debate me. We can talk about the metaphysics behind it if you want, but I know you probably ain't gonna go there. But for me, this is it. And that is totally reminded me of when I first started doing acid and I was getting into debates with my mom, because I kept trying to tell her that I'm trying to remember my example. I said 1 + 1 = 3. I kept telling her that. I said, Mom, 1 + 1 = 3. And I wasn't even like out there tripping where I couldn't calm myself down and stuff. But to me, it just made sense. And I was had all these examples. I was like, Mom, 1 + 1 = 3. And it was some captivation, fascination in her mind that she was under that wouldn't let her get out of that. That she was like literally coming at me, like looking at me side eye, like not even looking, because my mom liked to talk. She was saying, "What are you talking about? 1 + 1 = 2," and she was like writing it down on a piece of paper and stuff. And I said, Mom, when the two parents come together, they have a child. Now it's 3 of them. 1 + 1 = 3. And I was just trying to pick examples from this world, just like he was doing the math and all the other things. But that was an organic experience for me in looking at math and how was math at this dimension. Math is a language. It's a language, and just like regular language, it keeps adapting and evolving and becoming more complex because it already is infinitely complex. We're just always getting glimpses of like what's already there, what's being created right there in that moment. That's just how I tie it all together for me. Tie it all again. Is that correct? What's up? But yeah, they start getting into a whole thing. I guess this is the next step in dealing in the Sci-Top podcast. We're gonna start looking into a lot more magical things as well. The conversation's going to keep going and stuff. But I want to be able to get into this magic thing because this is what I was on, and it just makes so much sense. And how Tru was saying to Aleister Crowley and everything, it's like I sat it down for a while because I was just on to getting the experience for the experience. When I come here, just deal with stuff in the way I'm not used to dealing, but remixing it. But it's like I forgot about this chapter. And now that memory exists back again, because like memory saying, they're nothing but memories. We're subconsciously just latching on different memories, and we're that creation in that moment that we're saying ha and stuff like that. So now that memory is downloaded, is back on. The ceremony of the veil, because now with the mushrooms, I don't have to go by just the system that he created, but I can see what he meant by what he was saying. And because all he had was language too. It was the words and stuff. He can get all complicated and sophisticated up and things like that. Sophisticated up and things like that. But he was still had the confounds of language like us. So he was on. He was on to something. And he's cool. Cool guy. Let me show you a website that would be cool. The Hermetic. Well, no. It's called Sacred Texts, I think. And back in the day, I started making a library of PDFs because I wanted people to come and download stuff. But this was a site called Sacred Texts where they have a lot of just random books to gaze upon. Like books by they got the Veritas, Book of Shadow. Let me look for a certain Wait, let me do this. Let me do this. Liber Vega. Because this was one of Crowley's, like, when he wrote this book, the Liber Vega book, which was called the Book of the Law, he wrote this because he was in the pyramids in Egypt, and he was with his consort at his wife at the time, and they did a ritual inside the pyramids where he had a vision, and he saw a lot of things, and and that's when he wrote the Book of the Law. And he said he didn't write it, but it was like dictated to him through different entities and stuff that he was contacting, and he gave them names. Wait, I want to find the actual book, not what they. It's a sacred family book written down by Aleister Crowley alongside his wife Rose Edith Crowley. Claimed it was dictated him by the discarnated entity named Iowas. However, the 3 chapters are largely written in third person by the thematic deities Nuet, Hadit, and Roy Har Kuet, which is Horus, respectively, rather than by Iowas and Iowas. Through the reception of the book, Crowley proclaimed the arrival of a new stage in the spiritual evolution of humanity, to be known as the Eon of Horus. The primary prospect of his new eon is the charge to do what thou wilt. This book contains 3 chapters, of which was allegedly written in 1 hour, beginning at noon, 8th of April, 9th of April, and the 10th of April in Cairo, Egypt, in the year 1904. Crowley says that the author name was Iowas, who he later referred to as personal guardian, holy angel. And we went over that, like the higher selves and how we really see it. Crowley himself wrote, certain very serious questions have arisen with regard to the method by which this book was attained. I do not refer to those doubts, real or pretend, with hostility engenders, for all such are dispelled by the study of the text. No forger could have prepared such a complex set of numerical and literal puzzles. The book is also referred to as Liber Al. Yeah, that's how I know it, as Liber Al Vegas. Let me see if I can actually find something. I mean the PDF, and I did not turn the screen over. Sorry about that.
You're looking for Aleister Crowley material?
Yeah, I think I found it. I just typed it in on Google real quick.
Okay.
Do you have any PDFs like that you have?
That's what I'm looking for.
Because I had a whole bunch of PDFs before, where I've downloaded some torrent and it came with like 5,000 books, and I was going ham on it. But then I lost it, and I never found those torrents or like those exact PDFs ever again. So we got to share. I found some, but I didn't find all the ones. Like one of them was called The Consciousness.
Drive.
What was that?
Yep. I'll put my whole drive in your channel.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that'll work. Thanks.
Yeah, bro. Do you have a books channel?
I think I do. Let me double check on that. If not, I'll make one right
Articles?
now. I got esoteric text literature PDF.
Okay.
It's all sitting there empty.
I see
it.
Bam.
There we go. Oh, and thank you, Bunny Blue Farm. She said she just posted a video. Y'all gotta check that out. I'm post a link to in the description of this one. Well, yeah.
Nothing but Aleister Crowley. Have you read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth?
Yeah. That was all I had.
That you could read them 10,000 times and you still get something different from them.
Every time. It's like whatever it is I'm going through in that moment. And then I look back and be like, how didn't I see that? Like it says it right there.
Because you were looking at something else. It's just like that fucking... that thing that shows up in your trip and you're not supposed to be looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so amazing.
It's cool. That's why. It's cool.
That's right.
It's
We
cool.
made it for us because we knew it would grab our attention.
It's dazzling. It's oh man. I see. You have a lighter? I never smoked it because I ain't have a lighter. I had both of them. Dazzled by the headlights. He was dazzled by the jesters. Oh, but here
Here's
goes.
another one. It's darkbooks.org.
Like the gestures bedazzled my reality.
Bedazzled.
Everybody bedazzling somebody.
That's just frightful. Like, because we are in this side, we are this energy, consciousness, frequency, vibration, wave. So, like attract. It's crazy.
Well, you want to hear his trip story? Cause that's how I look at this book now. It's oh man. it's a lot of references to a lot of Egyptian gods in there. Hold on, I'm trying to find the parts. But what was you saying while I'm looking for this?
No, I said, yeah, I do want to hear it.
Yeah, he said, because it starts off, he said, had the manifestation of Newt, and had, Newt is the sky. I think, I want to make sure I'm right, because I remember researching this, but I didn't keep on to it, because I was so distracted. Hold on. But I think Newt, I spelled Newt with an E. Goddess. Yeah, Newt means night. Oh, well, yeah, I know what I'm talking. Newt means night. She was the night sky. And when you see her in Egyptian on the walls and stuff, like when you see somebody hunched over and they got all these stars in her, like she represented the heavens. So Had is the manifestation of Newt. And that's what he's saying here, the unveiling of the company of heaven. And every man and every woman is a star. Every number is infinite. There is no difference. Help me, O warrior, lord of Thebes, in my availing before the children of men. Be thou Hadit, my secret sinner, my heart and my tongue. Behold is revealed by Iwas, the minister of Har-Por Kawar. And Iwas was supposedly his messenger during his trip that was relating these messages to him. And Har-Por is Horus, which is like probably was supposed to be somebody beyond him. The cabs is in the coup, not the coup in the cabs. And I've looked over this in the past, and that meant the light is in the star, not the star doesn't give light. The light is in the star. The light is what makes the star. Worship then the cabs, and behold my light shed over you. And what he was talking about was don't fall for the illusion of things, but see the things that's beyond it. And then you will see yourself shine over yourself. Or in this part, you will see, behold my light shed over you, as he put it. Let my servants be few in secret, they shall rule the few and many in the known. These are fools that men adore, both their gods and their men are fools. Come forth, O children, under the stars, and take fill your love. I am above you and in you. My ecstasy is in yours. My joy is to see your joy. It sounds like a mushroom. Above the grimmed azure is the naked splendor of Newt. She bends in ecstasy to kiss the secret adorers, the secret adorers of Hadat. The winged globe, the starry blue are mine. O Ankh of no Kanufu. I don't know how to say that. Now ye shall know that the chosen priest and apostle of infinite space is the priest, prince, the beast, and in his woman is scarlet woman, all power is given. They shall gather my children into the fold. They shall bring the glory of the stars into the hearts of men. For he is ever a sun, and she is a moon. But to him is the winged secret flame, and to her the swoop starlight. But ye are not so chosen. Burn upon their brows, O splendorous serpent, O blah, blah, blah. The keys of the ritual is in the secret word which I have given unto him. Here you go. He spoke in a lot of old English. I guess everybody, when they thought they was speaking from their higher self, they like, we got to say shall and thou. With the God and adorer, I am nothing. They do not see me. They are here upon the earth. I am heaven, and there is no God than me, and my Lord had it. Now, therefore, I am known to ye by my name Newt. So this is that God speaking to him. Like saying, I am known by Newt, and to him by a secret name which I have given to him. Since I am infinite space and the infinite stars thereof, do ye also thus. Since I am infinite space and the infinite stars thereof, do ye also thus. So you are also that. Bind nothing. Let there be no difference made among you between any one thing and any other thing, for thereby there cometh hurt. But whoso availeth in this, let him be the chief of all. And that's what he's saying. And he said, divide, add, multiply, and understand.
That last part sounds like a Catholic or Christian prayer.
You know they got some stuff encoded in their prayers they took from.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and just like Crowley, he wrapped it up in whatever he was into. He was into the gold. He was being taught by the elders at the Golden Dawn around this time too, so he was getting the word preached to him through these layers. But it worked. It's like connecting to that memory chain allowed him to then remix it, I guess. Remix it easier than trying to start from afresh. Like I seen it,
Right.
that mean I was there.
Taking what we're told and then making it new. Because everything is us, so this is the best way we can understand.
The way we looking at it now.
You ever read The Law of One?
No, I'm look it up. I heard of it before. The Law of One. I heard of it.
Channeled material. And there's another one called the Seth series.
Oh yeah, the raw
SCP.
material. I did look into this before, bro. And they was talking about channeling and stuff.
Yeah, it is a channeled material. So 137 sessions or something, or I don't know. There's a bunch of sessions. They're on YouTube too, where you can actually hear the audible.
That's how I've ran into
audio.
it.
Really?
Yeah, on YouTube.
It's very interesting to hear somebody channel.
It's happening more than people even realize.
Right.
Like during
That's
my
all we
trips,
are,
I know that
channel.
I'm channeling. I just don't put a name on it. I just call it Ta, you know? And just keep on smiling. But during the trip, it was coming out because I couldn't talk that much. And I was like, I could feel, I was commentating. I said, I could feel, this is my commentator voice right now talking. And I was so out of the character that I had to describe the character that I was going into in order to talk. But yeah, you're right. The Law of One is a series of 106 conversations called Sessions between Don Elkins, a professor of physics and UFO investigator, in Ra, a six-density social complex memory that formed on Venus about 2.6 billion years ago. Ra states that they are humble messengers of the Law of One, and that they previously tried to spread this message in Egypt with mixed results. They probably, we still getting some mixed results. It's always going to be mixed.
He goes, yeah, the first thing known in creation is infinity. The infinity is creation. Then the questioner, from this infinity, then what must be experienced as creation? What was then the next step or next involvement? And the Ra goes, I am Ra. Infinity became aware. This was the next step. And the questioner goes, what's after this? What came next? Ra goes, I am Ra. Awareness led to the focus of infinity into infinite energy. You have called this by various vibrational sound complexes, the most common to your ears being logos, or the creator is focusing on infinity as an aware or conscious principle called by us as closely as we can create understanding or learning in your language as intelligent infinity. Can you state the next step? I am Ra. The next step is still at the space-time in your nexus, in your illusion, achieving its progression as you may see it in your illusion. The next step is an infinite reaction to the creative principle following the law of one in its own and one of its primal distortions, freedom of will. Thus, many, many intelligent dimensions, infinite in number, are possible. The energy moves from the intelligent infinity due first to the outpouring of randomized creative force, then this creative patterns which in holographic style appear as the entire creation, no matter which direction or energy is expressed. These patterns of energy begin then to regularize in their own level, shall we say, rhythms and fields of energy, thus creating dimensions and universes. Then can you tell me how galaxy and planetary systems were formed? I am Ra. You must imagine a great leap in the thought of this query. For the last query was, but as you call it, universes were not born. The energy moved in increasingly intelligent patterns until the individualization of various energies emanating from the creative principle of intelligent infinity became such as to be co-creators. Thus, the so-called physical matter began. The concept of light is instrumental in grasping this great leap of thought, as the vibrational distortion of infinity is the building of that which is known as matter. The light being intelligent and was full of energy, thus being the first distortion of intelligent infinity, which was called the creative principle. This light of love was made to have its own occurrences in its occurrences of being characteristics. This light of love was made to have in its occurrences of being certain characteristics. Among them, the infinite whole paradoxically described by the straight line, as you would call it. This paradox is responsible for the shape of various physical illusion entities you call solar systems, galaxies, and planets revolving and tending towards the lenticular. Lenticular, I think, means straight. I don't know the meaning.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look that lenticular. Lenticular, shaped like a lentil, especially by being biconvex, relating to the lens of the eye. So it's kind of curved, like a dome.
Mm-hmm. And bring it up for the people on the YouTube. Was it any more to it?
Yeah, that's the middle of session 13, bro. I could keep going if you want me to.
Hey, if you feel like it, I'm here. I just lit up. Well, I was past the L just now.
Then can you help me tell? Then can you tell me how the galaxy and planetary systems were formed? I am Ra. You must imagine a great leap in the. Oh, I already did. Questioner, I think I made an error in getting ahead of the process you were describing. Would it be helpful to fill in that great leap due to the mistake I made? I am Ra. I attempted to bridge the gap. However, you may question me in any manner you deem appropriate. Questioner, taking the question just before the one I had asked about the galaxies and planets, and tell me what the next step was from there. I am Ra. The steps, as you call them, are, at the point of question, simultaneous and infinite. Questioner, can you tell me how intelligent infinity became, shall we say, I'm having difficulty with this language, how intelligent infinity became individualized from the self? I am Ra. This is an appropriate question. The intelligent infinity discerned a concept. This concept was discerned to be freedom of will of awareness. This concept was finity, F-I-N-I-T-Y, so finite.
Mm-hmm. What page are you on, real fast? Because I found the website.
139.
139? All right.
At the top. This was the first and primal paradox or distortion of the law of one. Thus, the one intelligent infinity invested itself into an exploration of manyness. Due to the intelligent infinite impossibilities of intelligent infinity, there is no ending to manyness. The exploration, thus, is free to continue infinitely to an eternal questioner. Was the galaxy that we are created by the infinite intelligence was the galaxy that we are in created by the infinite intelligence, or was it created by a portion of the infinite intelligence? I am Ra. The galaxy and all other things of material which you are aware are the products of individualized portions of intelligent. As each exploration began, it in turn found its focus and became co-created. Using intelligent infinity, each portion created a universe and allowing rhythms of free choice to flow, playing with the infinite spectrum of possibilities, and each individualized portion channeled love or light into what you may call intelligent energy, thus creating the so-called natural laws of any particular universe. Each universe, in turn, individualized to a focus becoming, in turn, co-creator, and allowing further diversity, thus creating further intelligent energies, regularizing or causing natural laws to appear in the vibrational patterns of what you would call a solar system. Thus, each solar system has its own way, shall we, local coordinate system of illusory natural laws. It shall be understood that any portion, no matter how small, of any density or illusory pattern contains, as in a holographic picture, the one creator, which is infinity. Thus all begins and ends in mystery.
Always.
So dope, bro.
Always. Wow.
I love that mystery. So you go to like the native rugs, right? Native American rugs, and they always left a little bit like undone or unfinished. Or you go to, I forget, Dior says it a lot. Like the ancients had it down pat. Like there was always like this mystery that went on. You didn't know everything, right? Because you are a part. You're yourself experiencing yourself as a part, and so you set your other. Like you've got some information, Tru's got some information, like, so we got to come together. It's a beautiful thing.
And just how it is now. Yo, man, like different infinities. Like people don't, you gotta think of it like that. What happens when two infinities collide? 3 infinities collide. 5. 1,000,000 infinities collide.
Infinities collide.
Gosh, like man, like and working with that in this state of conscious awareness, like that's how we invent this technology and stuff too. Like creating another reality inside of this one.
Right.
Well, supposedly inside, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're using intelligent energy to co-create in this infinity because we have access to it and we are a part of it.
Or else we would have never did it in the first place. Joe Rogan was talking about this. He was hype about it. We talk about it all the time. He was saying it yesterday. He was saying, isn't it wild how we don't think about, well, I guess he did say this, the push to make better technology every year. Like we never satisfied with this year. We seem to be never satisfied with this year technology. You may hear it amongst people out in the streets, but to the people that's pushing it out and making it, it's like every year something new, better, bigger, and not even just bigger, but just more complex, more involved, seems more real, like more magical. Like, yo, this don't just seem like technology. This seems like some alien device in my hand. And he's like, where's this push coming from? And like, I think this is that push to just naturally infinitely create something. Like in this, since we at this stage in humanity, or where we are experiencing now, is with this drive with technology. And it's going to create a whole new, it's already there. It's not anything that it's going to create. It's already there. It's that we're going to get more involved with it, like make it more complex. Like it started off simple, like it did, and it grew. It grew into what it is today. It didn't just appear out of nowhere. We created that. Like we created that. That's cool. You know, all these books, all these esoteric books, they, as they say, esoteric, got some stuff behind the scenes in it. Esoteric.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
your
like
eye has a lid.
You said like your eye has a what?
A lid.
You just had to take that off. Hey, Nicholas. We reading over some old exoteric literature. Which I always thought that esoteric meant like the inside and exoteric meant outside. But now I'm looking it up. Esoteric literally means the well, according to Google, it's a intended for or likely to be understood by only a small number of people with a specialized knowledge or interest.
Yeah.
And then you got esoteric philosophical debates. S meaning into and eso meaning within. Oh yeah, esoteric. The study of within. all ties together. It says, what is an esoteric person? That's one of the Google questions. How do you use esoteric in a sentence? Oh, people really don't. No, at least they're curious. At least we're always curious. Yeah, just do some research, guys. Have some fun reading some stories. It's like reading somebody's trip story from 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Like, not just saying the religious texts in the Bibles and stuff, but the regular old things that's just there. I mean, that's not just there. That's been, like, written by... That's just out there. It'll run across you when it needs to. It's like, do books appear? I mean, did we just find the book, or did the book find us? What's the difference? 0 equals 2. But, hey, esoteric, I'm a, I said, I called you esoteric. Exile, I'm gonna go chillax for a bit.
Yes, sir.
Probably drink some water. But this is a cool time. This is a cool time. Yeah, it is beautiful. I'm gonna do some breathing outdoor, get some fresh air. Now I'm starting to yawn and stuff. But yeah, this was cool. And very unexpected too, which is always the best. Always the best. Unexpected times.
I appreciate you.
Hey, same here, bro. And thanks for coming by, everybody else in Automatrix, Wild Ninja Man, King Guys, Infinite Love, and Esco 75. And Leviathan was here in the beginning. He's here for a while. Tru Life, true. But just zoning. Like, he everywhere right now. He probably sitting right next to me, and I don't even know. Oh, shout outs to Daniel, Erie, and Holy Ruckus. First time coming through. My TS, 420 Lifestyles, Melissa, Cozy, and Jessica. Thanks for sliding on through to the Thai side. This has been Adventures from the Thai side, stories from Thailand. We're going to get that phrase straight. But we all Thai, but do we really Thai? Sometimes I don't know, dude. Sometimes I really don't know. But hey, sometimes we do remind ourselves. So check out the Discord, Instagram, all of those funky things that exist here, so we can stay connected and keep it funky.